Chào mừng quý vị khán giả đến với chương trình Nhà lãnh đạo doanh nghiệp. Tôi nghĩ hôm nay là một ngày đẹp trời và chúng ta rất là may mắn, bởi tôi và các quý vị may mắn bởi vì chúng ta có trong trường quay một vị khách quý, đó là tỷ phú Mỹ ngài Patrick McGovern. Ông là chủ tịch và người sáng lập ra tập đoàn IDG và là người đầu tư vào công nghệ thông tin Việt Nam lớn nhất với quỹ mạo hiểm trên 200 triệu đô la.
Oh, Chalan, wonderful to be here.
Yeah. So I'm very happy to have you in the studios of FBNC today to make a talk show business leaders here. So my first question focus on your dreams when you were a child. And I heard that you want to sold down your car with the $5,000 to set up IDC, International Data Incorporation. So can tell me the detail of the story of the selling the car?
Yes, well, I was at MIT as a student studying computers and communications, and I was asked to be one of the editors of the first computer magazine. So that gave me the chance as an editor to talk to a lot of people who are heading up the computer industry.
What was the name of the magazine?
The magazine was called Computers and Automation.
And was it considered the first magazine in the technology?
That's right. It was
in the world, not only in America, right?
I think it was the first magazine about computers that was started back around 1956, and then in 1958 I became an editor, and so I was able to meet with a lot of interesting people, and one of the interviews I was doing was with the head of one of the largest computer companies, and he said, I asked him what were the needs that he had to better manage his company, and he said, we needed to know more information about who the buyers of computers were and what they were buying, how they planned to use them. So I said, well, I knew there were about 10,000 computers then, and I could telephone them and interview them, and I could put together this database. And he said, well, how much would it cost? And I said, about $40,000. And he said, oh, no, no, that wouldn't be acceptable here. So I thought, oh, he's asking me to make a discount. So I offered, I said I could do it more cheaply with high school students coding the data, and I could make it $35,000. And he said, you don't understand, Pat. People would not use or trust information that was so cheap you are providing. So don't make it $40,000, make it $80,000, and then people will take it very seriously. So I thought, my goodness, you mean the higher the price, the higher the perceived quality, and the more useful. He said, absolutely.
Yeah. So at the time, you could know how to appreciate the data, and now you sell a lot of the data to the many clients in the world.
That's right. We gather the data about what is the size of the market and who's buying what, etc. So at that time, he inspired me to say, why don't you create a company to do market research? So I, wrote a proposal and sent it out to about 10 companies, thinking I'd never hear anything else about it. It was just a nice idea at the moment. And we got 8 companies to send us a deposit for the research. So then I ran to the bank and found that in order to start a company, I had to actually have capital, my own capital. I couldn't take the money from the customers. So that's where I sold my car for $5,000 and used that money to start the company. And actually that money is still in the bank. We've never actually used it because we used the customer advances to pay for the research that we were doing.
Yeah, so how much the car now you have? How much?
Oh, how much is the car that I now drive? Well, now it's more like $100,000.
Yeah. So, but when you were schoolboy, so what you want to be? At the time, you want to be the research billionaire or something else like a scientist, a writer, or astronaut, or only the research billionaire right now?
Well, when I was a teenager, about 13, I read a book that had just come out called Giant Brains and Machines That Think, and it was the idea that we could amplify the power of the human mind by using computers. The memory of computers would extend our human memory, and they could process and analyze the information and give you new insights into information. So I felt the computer was the way in which we could increase our intellectual capacity and better communicate with others. I was very excited about that and felt if I could help communicate that idea to people around the world, it would increase their quality of life and their standards of living and productivity. So I actually built a computer out of electrical parts when I was in high school, and it won the science prize. And MIT came down and said, "We heard about what you did. This is This is very exciting. You're obviously interested in building more intelligent machines, so please come to MIT." They gave me a full scholarship, and so that's how I got even more involved in understanding the technology, and that led me to join the computer magazine, which led to the idea of starting our initial business, the International Data Corporation, as a research company. Yes. And then 3 years later, the research showed us that people wanted magazines and newspapers to inform them about how to acquire and use computers. Yeah. So that's when we started to make our publishing business, like the computer worlds and the PC worlds and the network worlds.
Now are you satisfied with what you have done now?
Well, I'm always look to the future. Right now, we serve about 260 million people around the world in 95 countries with information. But I would like to reach at least 500 million people, by 2012, and I'd like to reach 2 billion people by 2020. So I always, say the measure of our success is how many people we benefit, and therefore my measurement is always how many additional people are we now helping by giving them the information. Now, of course, originally it was all through printed material. Now, 90% of our people get it on the internet, and now mobile internet is their little palm-top device is now a direct access to the internet.
If some young people ask you, Mr. Pat, how to make the dreams come true, what you answer?
Yes, well, I think the key part of business success is you have to first make other people successful, and then their success and their prosperity caused by that, they will share back with you. So your primary goal is to think of, what can I do that will help people achieve their own goals? Can I improve their health? Can I give them more knowledge that they're interested in? Can I give them a better experience traveling, or whatever it is? Decide what it is you would like to do, that you'd be proud of doing, that will help other people. And then if you do that, everything else happens for you. Then people want what you're offering, and they'll pay you fair value for it, and you make money. So.
Okay. Thưa quý vị khán giả truyền hình FBNC, tôi vừa trao đổi với tỷ phú Pat về những cái khát vọng thời thơ ấu của ông, và ông là một người đã biến những giấc mơ thành hiện thực. Và chúng ta sẽ trở lại trong ít phút nữa về phần 2 của chương trình. Trong chương trình phần 2 tôi sẽ tập trung trao đổi với ông Pat về những cái bước ngoặt trong cuộc đời doanh nghiệp của ông.